Thanks very much for accommodating us and having an interview.
Absolute pleasure.
Absolutely chuffed. When I saw the gig was on, I thought I've got to go to that. I've got to see man.
Thank you.
Because it's been tough, hasn't it? You know, with no one's been gigging. There's been nothing on.
It's you know, I tell you what, how it started for me. We were in Dominica, I think, or Costa Rica, one of the two. I was with the boys, UB40, featuring Ali and Astro, and we were all this thing of COVID was all in the newspapers and on the radio and all. It was everywhere, and we were like, no, it's not going to happen. This is never going to work. Do you know what I mean? They can't shut down. So anyway, got back home. Within months, the whole thing just kicked off. So obviously in our industry, everything just stopped for us. Normally when we're on the road, I kind of do my own personal lockdown anyway, because I've been out there doing it, constantly moving, you know, seeing things, doing shows, blah, blah. So when I get home, I just want to just be at home with the wife and the kids and just shut down, and that's me. But it went on for 2 years, didn't it? You know, everything just went mental. My career, it literally screeched to a halt, and and then when we could start getting out there, the thing with live music is it's not like an office job. You can't just jump straight back into it. It takes time to build these things or shows, and the confidence in the public to go out and buy tickets to go and see a show, just in case the lockdown screwed things up. You know, it was a chance that people weren't prepared to take. But then the whole thing with me and UB40 and the whole reason why I left with the vaccine and everything, that played a part in it as well. So for me, the whole period of the lockdown and this whole COVID thing just made me get creative, I think, more than anything. Just lock myself away and write what I want to write, you know.
Yeah, and your album, because you've 2021, you released the album, and there's a couple of tracks on there I just absolutely adore them, and you know which one. Wonderland's amazing. I just love that, and that collaboration you've done. Her voice is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Desi's phenomenal. She really is phenomenal.
She's brilliant. Well, you're right.
Tension, seduction. Both our bodies moving as one.
You're right. I've seen it with a few things, and even comedians watching other people what they did. And now they've turned that isolation into creating new sound and new music. There's loads of, during lockdown, the amount of music that's been released every week was phenomenal. I was struggling to keep up with what was coming out with the new bands, because we do new music shows. It's like, wow, look, I'm like 3 hours of new music just in this week.
No, for real, yeah. I mean, I think if you're a creative person, when we do shows, that kind of, in some respects, is a release.
Yes.
To get, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And when you haven't got that, you just kind of, you think, well, what can I do? What is the next best thing? And for me, that was going in the office, going in wherever in the studio and writing music. And luckily, I had the privilege of working with James Elevation Crosdale, who is just one of the best writers and producers of backing tracks that you will ever come across. And I just said to him, look, I said, I need to write, what have you got? And he just sent me about 3 or 4 tracks. And every one I went, yeah, that's good. Just keep sending them. And before we knew it, we had the whole album.
Yeah.
And the track that you related to just a minute ago, I always have to have a subject to write to. There always has to be something on my mind to make it sincere in a way. And that's where strong is, you know, it's about being, you know, positive and all that kind of, and happy on the album before about mental health. Stand up, rise up, do what you gotta do to make you smile. So we both sat in the studio and he went, you know, bruv, he said, we really need a baby maker. And I've always wanted to do like an old school, remember like Marvin Gaye, Roberta Flack and Diana Ross and Lionel Richie and all that. I've always wanted to hark back to that era and do a proper soul duet. but obviously with the reggae twist to it.
Yeah.
And that's where we were. That's why it's got the sitars in it, because I wanted to kind of give it that 70s Brooklyn vibe. And
yeah, it comes through.
You know.
And it's just a stunning track. And there's another one there, is it Time, where you sing and I've said it before to Dan, I know you won't take offence to it because you're a big fan of his, but I said to Dan here ages ago, I says, he's got a voice like George Michael.
Turn down the light, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head.
You
well, that's a huge compliment.
And if you listen to Time, I was listening to it on the way over in the car, and I was like, yeah, you've got that sound, and I think that's a real. The album's very different, isn't it? All the tracks on the album are quite different, aren't they? Not, there's a good mix on there.
Yeah, they are different. I mean, I think the first album for me, I was so not pressurised, but people go, when you can do some music, when you can put something out, and it was like a mishmash. I just put it together and put it out. There was no, apart from Happy and maybe one or two others, it was kind of just thrown together and put out. This album, I had the time to just sit down and write what I actually wanted to write and do and produce how I wanted it to sound, and every single track has turned out how I could hear it, before it even got played, a note got played, and it's a message. This album, it's called Strong, and every single track on there has a message to. I'm very passionate about mental health, and you'll probably notice through the theme of the lyrics, through all of it, it's all about positivity. It's all about being strong. You are your own person.
And I've played that, I'm listening going, I would say it's called reggae as a genre, because it's fighting up for people that are not, someone needs to stand up for somebody, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why it resonates with a lot of people, and you can hear that through the album. And this is positive. What's this spin? Who's this standing up for in your tracks? So I got that from listening to it.
I think it's kind of been lost in music now, Dan. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think each generation we always go, oh well, the music nowadays isn't as good as it was when I was young, and it is, but I think you have to be passionate about your own sound and your own journey and what you want to achieve within your own music. And like you said, there is always an underdog, and I will always fight for the underdog. I will always have my own opinions on it. I will never enforce them, but I'm always here to listen and push that boundary.
You get that because you're quite active on Twitter, and you don't hold
absolutely
back on that, And I like that. A lot of people shy away. Why not? You know what I mean? If you're not putting stuff out to offend somebody, you know what I mean? Or you're not saying try to force someone to do something.
Yeah.
We should all have an opinion. Shouldn't be able to have an opinion, whether whatever that opinion is. We should be able to have an opinion, and people make their own minds up. And I think
I think the problem in society today is that the fact that people have opinions, but they too easily fall out with somebody if their opinion isn't the same as theirs. Yeah. There's no conversation anymore.
Yes.
Back in the day, I used to, like, if I'm talking to you now and you completely disagree, I'm going to fall out with you over it. Yeah, that's your opinion, and it's about that conversation. And I think technology has a big thing to play on this, because so many kids are so involved in their phones, they lose the ability to converse. And I always say conversation is like driving. You have to stop, you have to give way, you have to interject. It's a whole game that you play with each other, and if the subject matter is important, I don't see how you can fall out with somebody over it, because you're both trying to achieve the same outcome. You're trying to both do the right thing in your own way. I would never fall. I mean, the thing is, I do have a lot of people that troll me and send me horrible messages and who do you think you are, blah blah blah. But you're going
to get that anyway, aren't
you? You can't
please anybody, even someone, I don't know, anybody's going to get a troll out there, I think, and it's unfortunate people feel that is, acceptable to do that. If you don't agree with someone, you don't like what they're just, move on. There's plenty of other people, isn't there? There's
absolutely
8 billion people on the planet. You're not going to like everybody, but there's going to be someone you're going to like, and you get going right with them.
Absolutely.
So what have you been? Obviously, you're gigging tonight.
Yeah.
So have the gigs started up again for you, or has it been a bit tough?
Not really, no. I mean, there is offers coming in, there is stuff coming in for in the new year. I'm doing a festival, Summerfest in up north with the AGA events. which I'm really looking forward to. It's a 3-day festival, so I'm going to be on with people like Lamar, Lee John, and Tony Hadley, Culture Club, all that kind of stuff. But I just think that the whole entertainment side with music is dancing on tepid water, because people, they're not sure how this is going. I think in the last few days things have changed. I feel a change in the water. Regarding lockdowns and all, you know what, because it's double standards at the minute, so people are kind of clocking on, and I think a lot of people feel cheated.
Most definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I think, and they're realising the penny's starting to drop.
And regardless, none of us are saying there's not something out there, and there's not a thing that's going around. That's not. No one's saying that. But when you've got people in seniority doing one thing and telling you to do another, then people are not stupid, are they? They go, if I want to have people, if they'd say you can't have people around, you can only have it indoors, and I want someone around to my house, I'm having around my house.
Of course. I mean, I think the thing with the government is, when last year there was people that had, elderly people in care homes, they had people in hospital that were dying of cancer and heart disease, and they weren't allowed in to say goodbye.
That's terrible.
But they're in 10 Downing Street, basically pissing it up the wall.
I know.
And, that for me...
And that's like, you can get quite emotional about it, can't you? I have to feel it now. But I've seen somewhere, my mum died, and I couldn't even go and say goodbye to her. And even family couldn't go and see her mother. She was,
it's awful. It is awful.
And you think, hang on a minute,
exactly.
It's not on, is it? Yeah. So people will get fed up with it, and then you there's one thing in this life, and it's trust. And as soon as you've lost trust, you've lost everything, I believe, haven't you? If you're in any relationship.
I believe so. And I also think with the whole COVID thing as well, aside from what it is as a thing, it's really highlighted people's personalities for me, which side of the fence they sit on, and also their level of tolerance in conversation. Do you know? Because whether they're scared, whether they don't believe you, whether they just want to believe the narrative, or whatever their opinion, they're so quick to jump down your throat and accuse you of something. Well, you're just fucking stupid then, aren't you? Yeah. There's no... do you know what I mean? It's like, well, why are you talking to me? Like, well, let's talk about this. There's no need to speak to me like that. And it's really highlighted people's personalities for me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I put a poll. I mean, we're supposed to be talking about this. This is a good debate to talk about because it's related to everything that's going on. But I put a post on last week about 50 years ago. It was acceptable to put a sign on a pub door saying no Irish, no dogs, no black people. Yeah, it's acceptable. 50 odd years ago. Yeah. And I said, so if you allude that to something that's going on now, that's discrimination. It's not right. And we've fought tooth and nail. We've gone into countries to release people, apartheid, Do you know what I mean? But we're okay bringing another discrimination in, because if you've not had this done, you are discriminating. I don't care what people say. You're discriminating. It
is discriminating against people. It's segregating. It's also, in my eyes, illegal to kind of highlight somebody's medical situation just because they think, well, you've got to have this. You've got to have this medical procedure. Otherwise, we're going to alienate you and you can't live your life. That's, in anybody's book, human rights wrong.
Forget,
I'm a big fan of equality, and the whole discrimination thing for me is disgusting, in my opinion. It really is.
Definitely. So you've got a few gigs going on next year. I mean, we've met a couple of guys from tonight.
Yeah, the Dubdefenders. They look
like a bit of a blast. So I'm looking forward to seeing them later on.
Well, this is the first time I've actually met them. And Tony, who's I'm doing the festival with in the new year, he put me in touch with them, and they're such a cool bunch of lads.
So let's introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mark.
I'm Charlie.
We are the Dubdefenders.
Dubdefenders.
Today represented for Dubdefenders, let you know.
And we got Mikey Biggs on as well, Bloodline Music. I'm hoping it's going to be an amazing night of reggae. Major Popular's dropping in. He's going to do a 30-minute set. It appeared on my album as well, on Positive,
I'm gonna ask you, daddy, 'cause I just got to get your love. Hey, you'll be my first.
I just want it to be a party.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a gig, as in the turn up and do a show. I think people have had enough of that crap. I think with all what's gone on, with Christmas, we just need to.
Yeah, and I saw that on your video on your Facebook, and I think you're right. I think that's where some things have changed because of all the activities and all the changes that have gone in the industry. Yeah, it's almost like a bit of, come on, let's get our knees up, let's go strip it back to how you would have done years ago. Yeah. Let's get in a room, let's get some music going. When you want, we'll be on in a bit. Fantastic, dead chilled out.
I mean, this is the perfect place for it as well, because obviously I've done the big gigs with the boys and everything, and certain times you can't interact with the crowd the way you would want to because of security and the size of the venue, and you kind of on you go and you're ushered into another room. But when you're given the opportunity to do venues like this, you know, especially my Facebook fan page, followers page, friends page, it's for everybody. It's like therapy, and it has been for the last 2 years for people, you know, especially mental health. People come on there, even when I'm not on there, and they talk to each other, and I love it because I see the conversations flowing and people help each other out.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And for me, a lot of the people from the fan page are coming tonight, and just to put that face in front of me instead of on a screen and typing, to actually talk to them and say hello and hug and have a photo, talk, chat. That's what it needs to be tonight. I'm not into all the pop star bollocks. It's like I'm here to have a good time and speak to people and you know, and relate and talk how shit the last 2 years have been. You know,
and it is great because obviously I've heard you on Dan's show a few times. I've seen you, and it is nice to see you in person.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Lovely to have that. It's that human connection, isn't it? The screen's great and Zoom's great and Facebook.
Yeah,
they're all brilliant. It keeps us connected, but it's not the same as being in the same room as someone,
absolutely,
because you're not getting the vibration from that individual either. You know.
Energy is a big thing. Energies, you work off energies. I mean, my manager Aaron, he's from Kansas in the States, and he moved over here 4 years ago. He's been managing me for about 18 months now, and we've met twice. The whole of our relationship has been over Zoom, you know. And unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight because he's got the flu, but you need that energy, you need that face-to-face contact, you know, because even though video calls are excuse me, are great because you can see the person, but you don't get like we're talking now, like we're having this interaction. You don't get that on a video.
No, it's not the same. It's totally not the same.
And we as human beings need that, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Humans do need. We're social animals, aren't we? At the end of the day, and I think that's the other side of what we was talking about before. That isolation is damaging, and you're a big advocate for mental health and the amount of how that, you know, being stuck and being isolated, how, you know, the fear and everything. It's not good, is it? It's not good for the brain.
It's not good. I mean, when my mother passed away, I was diagnosed with depression, and the worst thing ever is the loneliness and feeling like you can't talk to somebody because you feel embarrassed by it. You feel like, well, I know I'll be all right, you know, I'll deal with it. But 9 times out of 10, you don't deal with it, and it's that first. It's like breaking the ice. Going, can I talk to you? Can I? It's so fucking hard for people to do. So the more people help that situation by going, no, please do talk to me, and that's what I've tried to do with my fan page, followers, friends page, is have that. So people just feel they can talk. It's not about being a bloke, and all blokes don't cry and don't talk about certain things. You know, I would rather blokes cry and talk to me and tell me how they actually feel than scoot off and do themselves in just because they feel they can't tell their problems. You know?
And it's drilled into a lot of people. What's I say? I'd rather you talk to me about your problems than me go to your funerals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't always help people. Just listening to someone, talk to someone is massive. And we've all had them dark times. I've had some really dark times in my life, and you know, some things keep you going, don't they? You do have those thoughts of all that, and you know, wow, if you'd have done it, you'd have missed out on so much. You know what I mean?
It's very
true. So many people are missing out on so much, and they think it's the end. You know what I mean? They can't see a way out, and it's so sad, isn't it? So sad.
And I don't think the last 2 years have helped that either.
No.
You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the deaths through mental health and suicide are far higher than they are of COVID.
Yeah.
The real figures.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is what tonight's all about. It's a party. It's not a gig. We've all had shit for the last 2 years. We need to just let our hair down. You know, I don't care if 2 people or 200 people turn up. It's a party. It's going on. It's happening. So if you want to come and enjoy it, you know.
I think it's deserved, and I need it, and I'm really looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be great. So I'll tell you what you need to do, because Dan's a big advocate. I think you need to give Dan a big shout out, don't you, Dan Evans?
Dan, you know you're the man, and I'm sure you've heard that many times before. But thank you for everything over the years, mate. Thank you for the interviews. You've been a sterling friend, and I wish you a very happy Christmas, and hopefully see you soon, mate.
Excellent. Don't tell the rest of the presenters, but it's the best show on the station.
So I've heard.
Wonderful. Well, I better leave you to your...
Yes, I've got a sound check to do now.
And it's been wonderful. Thanks very much, Matt.
And
wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing you later as well. Cheers.
We up in a iron kingdom. Yeah, but no money should not look if you no rich man. Just walk, marry, settle down and have children. Anytime you get close, she put up resistance. And then she plays like a mix up signal. Lying in a cool, lonely room. Up